many of you have ever needed or experienced a wake-up call? That defining moment where you say to yourself, I need to change my behavior. I need to change what I'm doing because it's not effective. That happened for me this semester. I've never made a B in my entire life, and I made a 62 on an economics test, and I almost threw up. Almost threw up. It was my wake-up call. I had way too much on my plate, and I realized that I needed to put in place more effective methods of studying, use of free time, and really take my academic career more seriously than I was. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to be a successful student based upon the research that I found. So first we're going to talk about what is success. Merriam-Webster says that success is a favorable or desired outcome, the attainment of wealth, favor, or eminence. So Merriam-Webster says that, but everyone really has their own definition of success. For me, my success in academics was making A's, because that's what I was used to. For some people, it's passing. For some people, they define their success with their money, based on how much money they make. Some people define their success based on how many relationships they have or how many friends they have. So it really is different for every person. So the first step on your path to becoming a successful student is going to be defining what your definition of success. So the first step in doing that is you're going to evaluate what it means to you. Is it the money? Is it having good grades? Or is it having those healthy types of relationships? Once you do this, it's really going to it'll be the frame for your picture. So you have that border to base yourself on. And then you're going to commit to your vision. Once you realize what you're capable of and what you want to do, you've got to stick to it. You've got to keep your eye on your goal, and whenever things get rough, you always have that goal to look back to. On an episode of Glee one time, it shows Rachel Berry on her elliptical, and she has a Grammy in front of her. So that whenever she gets tired or whenever she gets discouraged, she looks at that Grammy and she realizes, this is what I want. She has her vision there in the frame. And like I did, and I made the mistake of doing, do not take on more you can handle. Your plate is only so big, and you don't want to make a mess of things by putting too much on it. So we're going to talk about academics. Everything from majors, grades, study habits, and more. When you're a little kid and you're in kindergarten, people ask you what you want to be when you grow up. And you put things like astronaut, or president, or author, or movie star. And then as you grow up, they continue to ask this question, but when you get to college, they want a real answer, because that's what you have to take classes in to get your degree. So this sounds very cliche, but do what makes you happy. Because the more that you do that, the more you're interested in your subject matter, you're going to do better in those courses. If you hate math and you're a math major, you're probably not going to do very well, even if you're good at it, because you're not going to enjoy what you're doing. My father always tells me, work is not work if you enjoy it. You're just living. There's nothing wrong with changing your major either. A lot of people, will give you pressure, or they'll pressure you saying, you shouldn't change your major, you're already this far into it, but this is the rest of your life. It's not the rest of theirs, and this is what you're going to be doing. The next thing I'm going to talk about, as far as academics goes, are going to be on-campus resources here at this campus, from advisors to tutoring, and even things in the library. There are so many resources that you can use. Advisors, they're trained. They're trained to help you out. The library has research desks. As far as research papers go, you might think this is weird, but those research librarians love to write research papers and do research. They will almost do it all for you. Not that you should let them do it all for you, but they are all about that. Then we have free on-campus tutoring, in case you didn't know that. And I've never been to tutoring in my life, and when I made that 62, I went and I got help. And it's completely free, and it's here on campus. It's on the second level of the PAC, for those of you that did not know. And then when I made this 62, I had to look at myself and say, why did I make this? Do I not have effective study habits? So I went to the internet and I looked for things that would help. The main things that I found is when you go to study, number one, be well rested. Number two, have positive thinking. and spread things out. Don't cram everything at once. You want to go and spread all your things out and take breaks as well. Take breaks. Don't study for 5 hours. Go for an hour, take a break. Go for an hour and take a break because it's really going to help you. What does not work? Negative thinking, cramming, and a lack of organization. Some people say, I'm not organized, but even in your not being organized, you do have your system. You know where everything is. Then we're going to talk about free time. Getting involved on campus is a really good way to invest in your academic career. And there are so many ways you can do that. Right here we have the URL for the listing of clubs and organizations at Lone Star College Kingwood. If you guys wanted to jot that down, you could get involved in anything from underwater basket weaving to you can be a student ambassador and give tours. Literally anything that you can think of, anything you can think of, there's there. Is that 6 minutes? That's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good tips.
We get questions?
Sure.
So how has that manifested in your, can you give me examples of how that has helped you?
Yes, I was working 2 jobs, and I was a full-time student, and there were things going on at home. So I had to quit one of my jobs, and it wasn't a bad thing for me. The job wasn't hurting me in any way, but it wasn't going to hurt me to quit either. So you really need to look at what you have on your plate, and maybe you should take it off. If it's not gonna hurt you too badly, then maybe take it off. And it's helped me, I sleep better. I would dream about work every night. And that's not a joke. Unless I took ZQL, which is like God's gift to man, I would dream about work every night, and now I sleep better, I don't stress as much. So it's helped a lot.
What would you recommend for students with children? How to balance children with school?
I couldn't tell you for sure. Honestly, I know for me, living at home with my 2 sisters, there was a time last year at home, my parents were going through some stuff, and I had to help my sisters out with a lot of things because my parents were occupied. And for me, it was just about taking care of my sisters, making sure their needs were met, but also keeping in mind that you have to do things too. And there are sacrifices that have to be made with that. You're a parent. That's a big responsibility, and I give you a round of applause for being a parent and doing a good job of taking that seriously. So, any other questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.